Good morning, viewers. I am Saraswathi in a CST department. Today, we are going to see about unsupervised learning in the machine learning. Unsupervised learning is a one type of machine learning technique in which models are not supervised using training data set. Instead, model itself to find the hidden patterns and insights from the given data. It can be compared to learning, which takes place in the human brain while learning new things. It can be defined as a unsupervised learning as a type of machine learning in which models are trained using unlabeled data set and are allowed to act on the data without any supervision. The goal of unsupervised learning is to find the underlying structure of data set. It's a group of data according to similarities and represent that data set in a compressed format. Example is a unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning to learn the hidden data by itself without any supervision. Suppose the unsupervised learning algorithm is given as input data set. It's containing images of different types of cat and dogs. The algorithm is never trained upon the given data set, which means it does not have any idea about the features of the data set. The task of unsupervised learning algorithm is to identify the image features on their own. Unsupervised learning algorithm will perform this task by clustering the image dataset into groups. There is no knowledge about the algorithm or features of the dataset. Here, by clustering the image dataset into the group according to similarities between the images. This is the importance of unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is helpful for finding useful insights from the data. It's much similar as a human learns to think by their own experience, which make it closer to the real AI. Unsupervised learning is works on the unlabeled and uncategorized data, which make unsupervised learning more important. In real world, we do not always have input data with the corresponding output. So that we solve such cases, we need unsupervising data. Unsupervised learning, which means not categorized and corresponding output are also not given. Now, this unlabeled input data is fed to the machine learning model in order to train it. First, it will interpret the raw data to find the hidden patterns from the data and then will apply the suitable algorithm such as k-means clustering, decision tree, etc. Once it applies the suitable algorithm, the algorithm divides the data object into groups according to similarities and differences between the objects. Clustering. This is a type of unsupervised learning. It's a method of grouping objects into cluster so that object with most similarities remains into a group and has less or no similarities with the object of another group. There are two groups maintained here. One group is the object which has the most similarity remains in one group. The object has less similarity remains in another group. The cluster analysis find the commonalities between the data objects. Commonalities between the data object and categorize these objects as per the presence and absence of those commonalities. So second one is association. It's a one type of unsupervised learning algorithm method used for finding the relationship between variables in the large data set. Determine the set of items that occurs together in the data set. Association rule makes marketing strategy more effective. The people who buy X item and also tend to purchase Y. And the typical example of association rule is market basket analysis. This is a different type of algorithm used in unsupervised learning. K means clustering, K nearest neighbor, hierarchical clustering, anomaly detection, neural network, principal component analysis, PCA, independent component analysis, a priori algorithm, singular value decomposition. There are some of the advantages of unsupervised learning, which is used for more complex tasks as compared to supervised learning, because unsupervised learning, we don't have a labeled input data. It's preferable as it's easy to get unlabeled data in comparison to labeled data. There are some disadvantages of unsupervised learning. It's more difficult than supervised learning. It does not have corresponding output. The result of this algorithm might have less accurate as input data is not labeled. Algorithm do not know the exact output in advance. These are the some of the differences in supervised and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning algorithm are trained using labeled data. Here, the unsupervised learning, the trained data is using a unlabeled data. Supervised learning model takes direct feedback to check if it is predicting correct output or not. It does not take any feedback. Supervised learning model predict the output. It is used to find the hidden patterns in the dataset. Next one is a supervised learning. The input data is provided to the model along with the output. Only the input data is provided to the model. The goal of supervised learning is to train the model so it can predict the output where it is a given new data. Unsupervised learning find the hidden pattern and useful insights from the unknown dataset. Supervised learning needs supervision to train the model. Unsupervised learning does not need any supervision to train the model. Supervised learning can be categorized into classification regression problem. Unsupervised learning can be classified into clustering and association problem. Thank you, students.